Hello, hello, hello. Welcome everyone to the 54th episode of Improving Chess with Sagar and right now the sleeping comedians. So I'm not sure whether they'll be joining in or not today, but I have realized one thing that chess improvement, there's so much to learn about chess. There's so much. And yesterday, when we had this international chess day, when everyone came together on this Zoom call, I realized so many people are learning out of this, improving at chess. In fact, there was this person called Ruchir who said, um, in this period where he has lost his job, these improving sessions are actually helping him to stay calm, to keep his mind cool, which was a very new perspective. I wouldn't know about all these things until I meet you guys. And so it has become more of some kind of a thing where I must come online and teach, not because I would, one of the reasons is that there's so much to teach in chess, like so much to learn, that you constantly have to keep doing. And also because when I do this, a lot of people feel inspired to continue, playing chess, continue playing very seriously. And that is one of the reasons why I enjoy doing this, because I know when I see Anish Giri stream many times when he's playing very serious chess, or with it streams, I get inspired myself to play very serious chess. So, guys, let's first check in the chat who all are here. As always, it's wonderful to have Ayushi in the chat. Thanks for being there. Arya Shah is here. Fantastic. Sumed, and a lot of people here. Keith, Cemil is here. Cemil, welcome Cemil. We're going to get Cemil today, but first let's play a game. Like always, if you can come in the room of the comedians there, that would be very nice, and we can play a game. Every time I would like to play with someone new, so Sujit Varghese is here. Sujit, we are going to get him on stream one of these days. He is going to sponsor an event on 1st of August. We are going to announce it, I think, later today, and or maybe tomorrow. But it's going to be a big event, big chess event, and I would like all of you to take part in that. It's going to be fantastic. Okay, let me share my screen with all of you so that you can see.
Writing's not that easy, but Grammarly can help. Okay. This sentence is grammatically correct, but it's wordy and hard.
Playchess. Okay. All right, Nihilesh, I think I have played. Arya Shah, I have played. I think Anav Malik is a new name. Let's play. Anav, send a 5-minute. Dev _ M. Okay, Dev. Let's play against Dev _ M. I haven't played with him. E5. E4. How should we play? Last time I played E5. So today I want to play another of my favorite opening. What happened? Why did you abort? I'm thinking what to play. Okay. Okay, Alan K. Thomas has been asking since a long time. Let's play with Alan K. Oh, I got white. I'll start with knight f3. Let's play knight f3. Knight f6, and now I want to go g3. This way of playing knight f3, g3, bishop g2 and castles is very powerful, and here I generally like to continue with c4, but today I want to play bishop g2 and just play a simple chess to show you guys that this is a viable way of playing. Castles, bishop d6, now I go d3, and you just go knight d2, and your point is e4, and no matter what black does, you play the same idea, like knight d2 and you play e4. It's a simple way to play, but quite effective. Takes, and now e5 seems logical to play in this position. And maybe after e5 I can go c3, just simple. Okay, Dev, it's fine, Dev, no problem. We'll play again tomorrow. Knight to e5. Well, this seems like a mistake, because after takes knight f3, I attack the bishop and then he has to move. But what is more accurate? Like, let's think. So take, I think, makes sense. I want to play f4, but there is an intermediate check here, so then he somehow wriggles out. If I play knight c4 again, bishop d4, so knight f3 seems like the most logical thing to do. And now he cannot move the bishop because there is e5. So, you know, I'm controlling d4 and also e5, both these moves, and he has to Ayushi says, Saga, you should stop thanking me for attending. I have only to gain from these lessons and I'm grateful. And because I listen more than I watch, my fiance sets up a physical board and we revise also. Very nice. Very nice. This is brilliant. It's brilliant that you have found a way to work through this. Okay, so the point is now knight into e5 is a threat, and if the bishop moves, e5 is going to come. So the only move that black has is knight to d7. Now, if you would exchange the queens and then play knight d7, then I could have taken with the rook. But right now, giving up the queen would be a bit too much. So how do you continue here? Now, one of the moves that comes to mind is just to take, because I think having the bishop pair is a big edge here. And so he must take with the knight, and now I can either take the queen on d8, rook d8 and bishop f4, or I can directly play bishop f4. Thinking what to do, because queen d8, rook d8, bishop f4, he can always play f6. I can even go f4, by the way, you know, f4, e5. Okay, let's do it. Let's do f4, gaining more space in the position. And when you have the bishop pair, you must try to open up the position. This is known as the King's Indian attack. And now I can put my pawn on e5. It's true that this bishop is slightly passive, but I didn't want to put my bishop on f4 and allow him f6, and then, you know, he sits there. Okay, queen to e2. Oh, sorry, knight to c4. I was thinking of queen e2, keeping control, but I'm not so sure whether I should be playing that. Queen e2 or exchange the queens. Even b3 seems like a viable move here. b3 with the idea of bishop b2, and then I have a bishop on the long diagonal. I like b3 actually. I like b3. It's so confusing because there are so many good options here. There's so many good options for black. And now I'll put my bishop on b3, a3 perhaps is also good. Okay, bishop a3 seems interesting to me. So let's do it. Or should we first? I don't know. Let's focus. Maybe just e5. Open up this bishop. Keeping options open, I'm going to show you a game actually later on where this keeping options open part is very, very well shown. I think it was Marshall versus Lasker. Now there's a weakness. You see the weakness, guys? Look at the weakness quickly. c6, that is a weakness, so we must latch on to it. Let's go bishop a3. Now this is a weakness I'm really going to attack. So he has to move his rook to e8, and then I can go c4, or I can take. He has to take with the rook, and I'll play rook fd1. Okay, which rook to put is a question, but I decided to put the f rook. Yeah, I could have stopped the queen exchange, but I thought let's exchange the queens, because this endgame is very favorable for me. Now the thing is, either he has to give me the file, or he has to play bishop d7. I like this move bishop d7 much more, but I have an idea against bishop d7. I'm going to show you. It's called subtle positional chess. I'm going to show you how you do it. So what you do is, when he goes bishop d7, you put your bishop on e7, attack the rook. When he moves, you come back to c5, attack the knight, so that if the knight moves, the bishop on d7 is hanging. So just this way, bishop e7, attack the rook. You gain a tempo. You gain this tempo, and then next you come to c5, and suddenly you have gained a move. Here, bishop c5. Now he will put the other rook perhaps over there, and I'm going to play c4. But no, come on, knight d5 means you're losing a piece, my friend. After c4, how do you save a piece? That's why rook a d8 was important. Sumedh, how to play against this setup? I think you can check out the games of Anatoly Karpov. He used to put his bishop on d6 and knight on e7 against this setup. I like that. Okay, now it's a matter of converting this. So there are many ways. I found a nice way, by the way. CD, BC, DC, bishop c8 and c7, and the rook is trapped. I think that looks very pretty. Yeah, so let's do it. This Ash King, if you need this software, the link is in the description. It's ChessBase. It's the most important software for ChessBase. ChessBase 15. Okay, I take and check, and that is mate. Okay. All right, so let me copy this game and let's put it on the board and try to understand what was going on, because always if you analyze your game, you're going to learn a lot. You're going to learn a lot over there. Okay, so first of all, let's begin with what is King's Indian attack. You go knight f3, knight f6, you go g3. This is the point. You play bishop g2 and you castle. So you made this beautiful, it's called building a home. You put your king here and you castle. It's very nicely done. And now after bishop d6, I think it's much better to put bishop e7. If you're going to put bishop d6, you have to be careful. So d3, this is again the plan, castles. And now the standard plan is knight d2 and e4. So I went knight d2, knight c6 and e4. And now you capture the center. At some point, you want to play rook to e1 and push in e5. He took and played. Here it was important for him to play the move e5. This is how you can gain the equal coverage in the center of the board. And I would plan to play the move here, most probably the move c3. This is how white plays. He controls the d4 square, and next I can go knight c4, maybe queen c2, rook d1, and you continue. You just tell black that maybe your knight on c6 is not so well placed because my pawn on c3 dominates it. Remember this concept. Jesse Cry used to say it's the tesuji of a knight. I still remember that word. Let me just figure out what is the meaning. I just forgotten tesuji. Okay, he's written here is a clever play, the best location in a local position, a skillful move. Tesuji is derived from suji, which means line of play. Okay, so basically what Jesse Cry, and guys, if you can listen to his lectures, please do. He is amazing. He has so much knowledge. When you play the move c3, it's like the tesuji of this knight on c6 against that knight. You're dominating it. And how do you know? Two squares, you leave these two squares away and you push the pawn so that now the knight cannot come to d4. Okay, so the knight cannot come to d4, and that's how the knight is dominated, okay, in this position with the move c3. And then you can go queen c2, knight c4, knight e3, and put your knight on d5. That's usually how the play continues. Knight e5 is actually is not a good move here because I take, and now look at how I'm careful here because I don't want his bishop to come to d4 and I must control it. So I had an option between knight c4 and knight f3, but I played the move knight f3, and I think this is a good move. He cannot go bishop d6 because e5 loses a piece. And here he played the move. If he plays queen d1, rook d1, knight d7, I already have rook into d7, bishop d7, and knight e5. Now two pieces for a rook, completely winning. So therefore he played a good move, knight d7 here. I mean, that's the only move. And now I took, always bishop pair in an open position is a beautiful thing, but you must play it carefully. Now look, I wanted to be very careful. So I could have taken and played bishop f4, which seems very logical. But after f6, the question arises, do I want to take this knight or not on e5? If I take, I know that I'm giving my opponent doubled pawns, but also I gave up my bishop pair, and secondly my bishop on g2 is slightly passive. So all of these things led me to believe that the right square for the bishop is not on f4. I shouldn't keep it there, because if I put the bishop on f4, he can always play f6, and that's how the move f4 came to my mind, which is more like I want more space. It's true that this move always limits this bishop on c1, but it can have a nice home on e3, just a good square. Knight to c4. Now knight came to c4 in this position, and again there was a question here whether should I keep the queen with queen e2, and I actually like this move, queen e2, because he's low on space and I'm keeping the pieces. But b3 is not bad, just pushing the knight away. And now another important move I felt was e5, opening up this bishop. See, the way I calculated this position very quickly was I want to play bishop a3, okay, rook e8, then I take, and I play rook f d1, trying to fight for the open file. And now his only move is bishop d7. And now when I play e5, what I did not like is bishop c6. And although again he gets a doubled pawn, he exchanges a bishop pair, So that is the reason why I began with e5 in this position. This is subtle play. Many times you begin with e5. Now he cannot play bishop d7 at any point because b7 is hanging. And when he pushed his pawn to c6, now that square is taken away from his bishop on c8. So the bishop can no longer come here. So it was a very Little play, but it makes a huge difference. And now, guys, I'm going to ask you, c6. I have been teaching you weaknesses since 2 days. Today also I want to cover this concept of weakness. Which is the square that got weakened because of the move c6? Which is that square? Which is the square in this position which is weak? Now, because of the move c6, if you have understood the concept of weaknesses, you should be able to get this right. Very good, very good. Sumedh is right. Let's see, anyone else? Because of the move c6, something weakened. And remember, a square which is not controlled by a pawn and, could become a weakness in a position. It is a square, it is a pawn, it is a piece. Anything that is not controlled by a pawn could become a weakness. Excellent, guys. Everyone is right on the ball. Perfect. d6 has become weak and you need to make use of that square. So bishop to a3. Now you see it becomes clear. Earlier it was not clear whether you want to put your bishop on e3 or a3. But once the d6 square is weakened, bishop a3, rook to e8, and now I took, and rook f d1. And I think now comes the subtle point of this entire thing, where black wants to, if black was given a move here, okay, this is now I'm talking about something which is slightly more at an advanced level, but let's see. If black was given a move here, what would he play? It's not like the best move or anything, but what would he like to do as black? Let's try to think. It's white's move actually, but give the move to black and think what will he do here. Okay. What would black do in this position? And then you can get an answer. Well, Shriparna Roy, if you don't play c6, then b7 pawn is hanging. Every time you want to move the bishop. That's why c6 was played. It's logical to blunt this bishop like this. That is the reason. Knight d5, no. Here if it was black's move, black would want to play, yes, Shubhangi Shah. Very good, Shubhangi. The right move is bishop e8. So if it was black's move, black would play bishop e8 and exchange a rook, although he would be clearly worse because his king cannot come into the game on f8 because it is covered. He is in trouble, but still not knight d5, because knight d5 is definitely a concept here, it's a possibility, but bishop e8 is the much bigger idea from a long-term point of view. And so I went first bishop e7, attacking the rook on d8. He has no time, he saves it with rook e8, and now bishop c5. So by this logic, I begin to understand now that perhaps it was wiser for black to go rook c8, and when I come back to c5, he can go bishop e8. But the problem here is that if he goes rook c8, he gives me a tempo because he is no longer attacking the bishop. Okay, so I can maybe go rook d6 already, and I think this is quite a dangerous position for him. With the other rook, maybe I'll get the bishop out on h4. Okay, so he went rook e8, bishop c5. Now knight d5 was a mistake. What I was imagining him doing is rook a d8, and this is, I think, the correct way to play. And I would have further squashed him with the move c4, taking away the d5 square from his knight. And next plan is to go a4, a5, getting more space in the position. And I think this is becoming too difficult for black to hold. Look at these two bishops. Look at the space in the position. It's all beautiful. Okay. Knight d5, c4, b6. And now, okay, there were many ways. I could just take the bishop back and then take on d7. But turns out that I had calculated cd5 works, because after bc, dc6, attacking the bishop, See, this is important to understand that if you take CD here, I'll just go back and I'm a piece up. So you have to take the bishop, then I take, and now the bishop has only one square on C8, and then C7 actually traps the rook. This is all quite straightforward calculation, but it's something you should learn. Bishop A6, takes, and rook D8. Okay. Alan K. Thomas says, Alan K. Thomas, I hope you enjoyed the game, and very important was the key mistake, I think, is you playing knight e5 here. Instead of that, just play e5. Gain space in the center. Center is the key, guys. In chess, everything revolves around the center. You know, many times I go on Samay stream and there's this guest, like recently there was this flying beast who came there, and I have just 2 minutes to teach them something about chess which will help them in the game. And the two things that I tell them is center control and develop your pieces. And center control means e5. You know, here you're controlling the center. Okay, guys, so thank you for this game, Alan, and I'm going to save this game in my database. Always very important. Whatever you learn, very important to learn. And now let's look at a bit. Today we are going to invite one guest on the show in a bit. I think in the next 10-15 minutes he'll be here. He's your favorite, guys. You know him well. But before that, I want to talk a bit about weaknesses first, and then also about International Chess Day yesterday. You know, I did something very unique. I called every one of you on the Zoom call, and there were many people who missed out, but there were many who came in, and it was so much fun. I actually realized that it's sometimes like in the chat there are people, but when you see them, you make these connections. Oh, this is the guy with whom I'm talking, you know, all the time on the chat. So it was very nice. Okay, so here is another game that I want to just how the concept of weaknesses, you know, two points I want to show. First, let's look at this game. Maybe let's come to it later. I think I had this game. Yeah, this one. Oops, sorry. This is a difficult concept of so let's look at this here. D4, knight f6, c4. This was played in 2009. My opponent was Arvinder Preet Singh. Harnoor Singh, thank you so much. He says, great game, Sagar. Loved the analysis. Thank you, Harnoor. Very kind. And I think what happens with this analysis, it gives you tools. When you are thinking in your game, you think, oh, bishop pair is good. When the bishops are there, I must open up the position. I must gain space. If I want to execute an idea, can I make an intermediate move like bishop e7? All of these things, very important to keep in your mind. D5, this is known as the Grunfeld. Knight f3, bg7, queen b3. One of my favorite lines against the Grunfeld with white, because you gain a lot of space. And I'm going to h6. Let me just make sure you guys cannot see the move, otherwise when I ask you the question you will already have seen the move. Sorry. Yeah, h6, take, and I played the move e5. Now if the bishop goes back, I'm going to play d6 and gain more space. So he took, I took with the knight, he went back, and now I made a very brave move, long castle. Okay, he went queen to a5, and here I played knight to e7, king h7. And now comes the critical moment of this entire game, and I'm going to ask you to think now. What are the weaknesses in this position? It's very difficult to actually understand what are the weaknesses very quickly, but think for a bit. Let's not be in a hurry. Let's try to think calmly. White to move. Okay. Now, while you are thinking, I'm going to also read out a few comments which I felt were really cool on the International Chess Day yesterday. Over here, I'm going to make this smaller so you guys can think. Yeah. So yesterday was International Chess Day, and we made this post on ChessBase India YouTube community as to tell us, why do you love chess? One reason. And I got so many nice answers. Like here, these are the top rated comments because these are the ones which are liked the most. So Pranshu Sinha, who says, the thing I love about chess is that everyone can enjoy it at their own level. Whether you are young or old, 1200 or 2700, there is something for everyone. I like it. I like this very important thing about chess. Age doesn't matter, rating doesn't matter. You can enjoy it at your own level. Very nice. Stock Market King says, age doesn't matter. Even a kid can beat anyone. That's the beauty of chess. And that's our actually the thumbnail. Pragnananda playing with Anand, So, Kabir Goyal says, the wonderful people in the world of chess who are so smart and low-key genius, yet so humble and modest. Very nice. Kabir actually touched upon the people whom he has met in the world of chess. Varun Vishal, there's something hiding in plain sight. You just have to find it. That makes chess beautiful. See, there are weaknesses in this position. You just have to find it. That's why. Life is like a game of chess. You cannot undo the moves, but you can make the next one better. Very nice. Rajat Sahu has said this very, very nicely put. Take out glint. There was a time when people handshaked. Okay, that's not. Aman Gupta says, honestly, there's no particular answer to love chess. So everyone loves playing the ultimate game and helps to develop our mental and social skill. Snehal Pathak said, perfect game for introverts like me who wants mind to be stimulated regularly. Yeah, mind stimulation. The chess is one of the best inventions India has given to the world. Yes, it is invented in India. So, of course. I think there are so many nice comments here. I enjoyed reading all of them, going through them. It was great fun. I would recommend all of you to just go there, and in case if you haven't written, please write here, because then I can take the best ones and make an article out of it later. Okay, so that was about the chess day. Well, RSPL is from Portugal. Oh, RSPL, nice to see you. Portugal, it must be late night, yeah, right now. Okay, so let's see what are the answers here. F7, F6, H6, D5, D6. D6, F6, F7. Okay. H. Okay. G5 weakest. Okay. Nice. Knight G5 check, but I'm not sure if there's a mate if black doesn't take. But Keith, what if he takes? Have you found the mate there? So now if you see, as you rightly pointed out, F7 is a weakness. Very good, guys. D6 is also weak because it can't be controlled by a pawn. It's very important. Then there are some subtle weaknesses. D5 could become a weakness. And also G5, although controlled here, is actually a hotspot. It's very difficult to imagine this, and that's why the next move took a lot of time. The way I got this in the game is that I thought of knight G5 check in the game, just like how Keith and many of you have thought about it. But after H-G5, now how do I continue was the question. And then I saw, oh, I can open up my rook on H1. I can play H4. I was so excited. But then I realized, oh, he goes G4. And the problem is, I cannot open my rook over here. And that's when the move struck me. And this is often the case in chess. when you cannot get the move idea, when you have the idea but it doesn't work, just change the move order. So when knight g5 was not working, you start off with h4, and now your threat is knight to g5. And look, this becomes like a hotspot. It's a weak square, although it's controlled by a pawn. So remember, sometimes there are weaknesses in a position not because it is not controlled by a pawn, but because that square can lead to some big attack, big, anything can happen. Like here, the attack on the king. Okay, so bishop h8 over here he played, which seemed like the only move, and now h5, and it's just a devastating attack in the position. If he plays g5, I was all ready to sacrifice, takes and check, king g7, and this is the point. You can go h6 with a mate. It's a beautiful mate, guys. And if he plays king h6, I can play queen to g6. Ooh, I should have asked you guys. fg, hg, king g7, and once again a pretty mate. All these variations always remain in the analysis room. They do not come out on the board, but they are very nice. A player has to see them. And so my opponent played queen b4, but I took, and now knight to g5, king g7, and knight c8. I think this was now just conversion part, where because I could enter the position with my rook, and then knight check, and other rook comes in, and this is just mating attack. Bishop f7 is an unavoidable mate, and he resigned the game. So I like this game very much. It also shows the concept of weaknesses in a much more advanced manner. So don't simplify this weakness concept. Weakness can also be the king here. The king is weak on h7. So how do I attack it? And then you see the g5 square. So that becomes a stepping stone to get to h7 here. Okay. All right. Let's get our man on the show. Cemil, if you can just join the show. Cemil would also show you a very interesting game on weaknesses if he has one. He was searching it yesterday. He said a few minutes ago, he said, I have no positional games. But let's see. I don't believe that a grandmaster cannot play a positional game. So Cemil, if you can join in, let's try to understand the concept of weaknesses in a proper way, and no one better than Cemil to explain us. Yeah, guys, there is one more thing which you should do after your this live is to go to Nisha Mohota's YouTube channel. I have great regard for her. The reason is she puts out content after thorough research, and we have already liked her channel, subscribed to her. But she made a very nice video here, episode 6. So there are now 6 videos, and this one she says you can't just miss the game. You just can't miss the game. So try to have a look at this game. It's between Nilotpal Das and T.S. Ravi, and calculate. She's doing a great job here. So please check this out, and also subscribe to her YouTube channel. Brilliant work she's doing, and a lot of teaching there. So yeah, thank you, Keith, for putting in the link over there. All right, Cemil is here. Fantastic, Cemil. We're going to shut down the session at 9:30. So we have around 40 minutes of time. Wait one second, Cemil. Let me wear my earphones. Welcome, Cemil. Just a second. Yeah, welcome, Cemil. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. Good to hear your voice, and good to see you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Same.
How was your international chess day? Did you do something special?
I streamed for quite a bit, and other than that, I was looking on some openings and did some work. Other than
Oh,
that, no.
really? You practice chess on International Chess Day? That's
It
fantastic.
reminded me that I should also do some work.
True, true, true. So, Jamil, we want to work on the concept of weaknesses. This is something that I've been trying to teach the people who are viewing this,
Mhm.
all the subscribers here, because they the concept of weaknesses can be quite tricky. So, do you have some game of yours which you can?
Yeah, there are definitely a few, and as you were explaining, the concept can actually be very tough to understand. Like at first, it's more easy to understand like pawn weaknesses or like square weaknesses, but in your last example, you showed that a king can even be a weakness.
Yeah.
So I think I found one. There is one example actually, which is very long. That's why I don't want to get into that. But it's a game I lost, but it's a very valuable one, but it's so deep that I think it should be skipped. The game lasted more than 100 moves.
Okay.
So that will be brutal. But I think I found one which is mixture of weakness plus some tactics and some middle
Hmm.
game. So
When you
a
have
little bit of
Jamil, you
everything.
have tactics, you have attack. This you cannot avoid. So
Yeah, I
what's
was
the game?
actually looking, and there was no pure positional game. It was tough. There's always some tactics in my game. It's a game I played when I was 13 years old, so I was smaller. So I
Oh,
was not a
very young.
grandmaster. I was not even an international master.
Okay. Do you want me to do you want to share the screen, or should I do?
You can keep it because I don't have ChessBase in this
Okay. So
computer.
can you tell
Unfortunately.
me which game is it? Or we can just make the moves.
We can do either. We can also find it in the database, and you can
Okay,
hide the move.
let's make the moves. That would be nice, so that
Okay.
people. Yeah.
So I'm playing with the black pieces in this game,
Okay.
and my opponent is international master Ivanov Jordan. He's like 2470 at the time, and I was 2200. So I am the lower rated player at
Okay.
that.
And you will
And
have questions for the viewers at the right time. Yeah.
yeah, the
Okay.
game
Okay.
eventually will be tactical as well as positional. So
Okay.
the game started d4,
Mm-hmm.
d5, c4, c6. This is the line Slav I
Let me
always play.
1 second.
So
Yeah. So d4, d5, c4.
c6.
Okay.
I've been a Slav player my whole life. Knight f3, knight f6. He played e3. I played e6. So this is all standard. Normally the main move is bishop f5, but I did not know it back in the day. So I kept on playing the same line with e6.
Okay.
He played bishop d3, normal developing move. Usually they get the knight to c3 out, but the idea of this setup is that they might put the knight on d2. So white is very flexible with the bishop d3 setup.
Okay.
I played knight bd7. This is a typical idea.
I would just
Uh,
like to add here that this opening which Cemil is showing is known as the Semi-Slav, which is c6 d5 is known as the Slav. Okay, so if you look here, this is the Slav, and usually black takes on c4 when you say that's the normal Slav. But when he plays his pawn to e6, it ceases to be a complete Slav, so we start calling it the Semi-Slav. And so here this is one of the favorite weapons of Vishy Anand. Very, very nice games. In fact, the most famous game of his against Levon Aronian from 2013 in Vaikanze is in this very opening with black. So all those who haven't seen that game, please check it out. Aronian versus Anand, Vaikanze 2013. Okay.
it was one of the puzzles and the quizzes you asked to the top players.
Yes,
So
yes. By the way, Akash Kulkarni, please raid my channel. Also, I'm trying to get in touch with so many streamers, including you. Akash, if you can, at the end of Jamil's game, put your link in. I would like to see it. I don't want to raid it without knowing what the content is, but I'll see it, and then I'll decide whether it's worth subscribing or not. Okay, Jamil.
so knight d7, he castled.
Yeah.
And here I played an interesting move, but it's nothing serious. I played a6.
Okay.
So the idea of this move is that in the semi-Slav, black usually wants to take on c4 and then play the move b5 and try to get his bishop on the h1 a8 diagonal And eventually, since it looks like it's closed because of the c6 pawn, black wants to get the push c5.
Yeah.
And the use of a6 is that it protects the pawn on b5, which will happen in the future. So
Okay.
that's why I play this move a6,
Hmm.
which is a move thinking about the future.
Right.
And here he played the move a4,
Okay.
which I
Stopping
wasn't
b5.
fully expecting, but yes, he has a good idea of stopping. And I was completely out of my preparation,
Hmm.
so I became creative and I played c5. I just wanted to experiment. This is probably a controversial decision, but
I would like
c5.
to add one point here, if you don't mind. So the thing is, after every pawn move, you see there is some weakness created. So in this position, guys, what is the weakness created here in White's camp after the move a4, and how do you latch on to it? Like, how can you take advantage of it? And I'm going to explain to you why that may not be good or bad. But let's first see if you can recognize where is the weakness here.
Yeah, actually, very well said. I was not even paying attention that it's a weakness, but it's very correct. Sometimes we just skip these things.
Yeah,
But
sometimes it's so natural that this move a4 stops a6, and in your mind everything, all the weaknesses are already, because you see it so well. But it's yes, very good, Sumedh, well done. B4. By the way, Keith, this is not g6, okay? This is b3. B3, because we flipped the board.
yeah,
Yeah, b3 and b4, these two are weaknesses, and b3 very difficult to reach, so maybe little less weak, but b4 definitely. And if Cemil, if I can make another move here for black, I mean, first of all, I would make the move a5, but if I was given another move, then two moves, then I would put my knight back on b8 and then put it on a6, and then take advantage of this weakness somehow. But because the knight is already on d7, perhaps playing a5 doesn't make so much sense, because you can't really put a knight here.
yeah,
Maybe something like that. Okay, so c5 was played. Let's go on.
yeah. He took on d5, c d5, and I captured e d5.
Mm. Okay.
And he played knight c3, so he's playing very naturally. I played bishop d6. And one should always keep in mind that I never was afraid of playing with the isolated pawn. So it's always, and it could have appeared after d takes c5 and let's say knight takes c5. So at first sight, it looks like a weakness on d5 because it cannot be defended by any pawn.
Right.
And yeah, so it is definitely a weakness, but the reason I didn't mind these types of positions is that the bishop on c1 is closed, like it's locked behind its own pawn. So it was not a big deal for me. But
Okay.
that is definitely a weakness. So
So,
wasn't
one question to you, Jamil. A lot of people fear playing with the isolated pawn. They are like, "Oh, it's weak. It will be weak forever. How can I defend? I have to put my bishop here." Why are you not afraid playing with the isolated pawn?
so yeah, in the isolated queen pawn positions, generally there are a lot of games where you can find attack and initiative. And it's just from its nature that when the pawn is located like that, it controls different squares, keeps the light squared bishop open or dark squared if it is white side. There is generally a bishop right behind it, always looking at the king side. So maybe I'm generalizing it, but the attacking chances are very high. And that's what I like from it. And also, from personal experience, when I even wanted to be solid, I felt like I could defend the positions with the isolated queen pawn very well because I understood the on how to even hold the position. So at first you will be suffering quite a bit. You will do the wrong piece exchanges, and what I mean is when there is an isolated queen pawn, generally recommended is to trade all the minor pieces, knights and bishops. When they're gone, then the weakness will probably shine. But in the cases, generally, I would hold as many pieces as possible, which would give me some attacking chances. And also, maybe because I worked with Mikhail Gorevich, who was my coach, he used to play with the isolated pawn his whole life. So maybe
Oh,
that influenced me
very
quite a bit.
interesting. Very
And he
interesting.
has worked with Vishy Anand
Yeah,
also.
let's show people who Gorevich is. But first, just to make it clear, guys, look at this position on the screen right now. And now let me do something very interesting over here. I'm going to remove all the minor pieces from the board. And so what is going to happen next is that you are left with this position. And now you can see this weakness in full glory. Like, what is White going to do? He's going to put his queen on d4, put the rook, other rook here, then maybe put double again on the d file, and somehow this becomes very weak. So whenever you are playing against an isolated pawn, you have to exchange pieces. We have learned this in one of our previous improving chess sessions. And whenever you are playing with the isolated pawn, you keep the pieces on the board. So that's what is very important. Cemil, that was very well explained over here. I'm going to put in the moves. Yeah. And let's just show the people who Mikhail Gorevich is, because he is Cemil's coach. Has he been training you since a young age, or?
I worked with him when I was 10 till something like 15. So
Okay.
yeah, and he has witnessed almost all my success. He has worked with Vishy Anand and
Which country is
Kasparov.
he from?
Um, he is representing Belgium right now,
Okay.
but he has changed federations throughout his
So here you
career.
can see this is Gurevich, and very importantly, when Anand was very young and upcoming, he's the person who helped him to become like one of the best players in the world. And Vishy says that Gurevich had a very big impact on his chess career, and Cemil has also learned from the same guy. So it's wonderful to get some of the knowledge that Vishy got. So it's like Gurevich taught Vishy, Gurevich taught Cemil, and now Cemil is teaching the trainings of the guy who taught Vishy. Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah,
High level
it's
stuff.
definitely amazing. That's just yeah. And he was always playing the French defense, especially with the isolated pawn. And I've been playing that since I was 9 years old. Still, I play it. So I got used to the isolated pawn at this
Okay.
point.
So in the position he didn't take on c5.
He didn't. He played the move Bishop B1, which at first I was very surprised. But in the game, I understood what he wants to do. And maybe people can think about this. I played castles, so this is a normal move. But why did my opponent play Bishop B1? This is actually maybe something to think about.
Okay, guys, a question to you from Cemil. Why did White play Bishop b1 here? So it's your move now. Oh man, he is smart. I never thought of this idea so quickly. Like they would do it at a later point, but he was like very quick in doing that. Let's see if someone
Yeah.
in the chat is able to find the reason why bishop from d3 was posted to b1. What was the reason? Very good,
Yeah,
Shiv
he
Shom.
played,
Shiv
yeah.
Shom is your big fan, Cemil. He follows you throughout and he keeps writing JJOP in the chat. And
Yeah,
he's a very talented guy, yeah? So he's
he's
going to
always to
be,
my streams and very nice guy, definitely.
yeah, he's going to be a good player in the days to come. Hemant, Sachin, everyone, yeah, very good guys. I was thinking some of you will say that he wants to play queen c2 or d3 to attack h7, but the chat is pretty strong. They are all saying bishop a2 with the idea of attacking d5.
Yeah. Yeah, so he actually spotted the weakness on d5, and his idea was that if he takes on c5 and knight takes, then my light squared bishop can develop. That's why instead of allowing me to move my knight, he immediately wanted to go for the d5 pawn so that my light squared bishop is locked inside.
So this not allowing him to jump here, so this is locked and now attacking this pawn from a2. Okay.
Right. So that's what he played here.
And now
And, yeah,
I think because this cannot be easily defended, maybe you have to push c4 here.
that's what I did. That's what I played.
But then
And
he can take advantage of it. I think again an important point. It would be very stupid to put the bishop here and get it closed by these pawns. So I think white has to do something important here. So a good question to ask the viewers, Jamil.
yeah, for sure. I
White
mean,
to
what
move.
was his intention when he played all this? And clearly he saw that I can go for c4.
Okay, white to move here. How do you manage to take? See, if you're going to play a move like, let's say, rook e1 or something else, then you just put your bishop on a very bad square blocked by its own pawns. So how do you open it up? Yes, Ajay, well done, Ajay. Shiv Shom says, I believe the improving chess improved the chat's game. Of course.
Yeah.
It's too much effort being put in by everyone here, by the viewers as well as by the people teaching. So it's bound to improve. Yes, excellent. Look at it. Everyone is like perfect. Perfect moves. B3. Absolutely.
Everyone is guessing it.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
amazing.
I'm actually a little bit sad that Biswa, Samay or Vaibhav are not getting to learn this right now live from you, because they could have learned so much from this about weaknesses and how to play against this. But okay, they will watch it later. They'll watch it.
Yeah, there are more examples I can show as well. So no problem. Okay, now that we found white's move, what does black play? That's actually a good question.
Yeah. The point is, you don't really want to take here because after bishop b3 again it attacks your weakness. So time now it's Cemil, who was at that point 13 years old. Yeah, Cemil,
Yeah,
2200 rated, will
yes.
show you why he became a GM now. There's a glimpse always. So a future grandmaster would never take on b3. He thinks what should be done. So here's your move now. Black to move. Even I'm not sure what to play here. It looks very but I know Cemil well. I know he's going to go forward.
Yes, I think you know me.
He's going to go forward. He's not going to go back here.
Yes.
Let's see.
I actually got my I think final IM norm in this tournament. No, 1-4. It was my second IM norm. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, in the chat we have Mr. Atul Dahale. Atul is someone whom I'm going to take you to his channel today as well, because he is working extremely hard and I think he deserves more subscribers than he is, and we'll have a look at it. And very nice content. So my idea is not to take you to just about any channel and ask you to subscribe, but good ones where you can keep learning something about chess. Okay, in the chat everyone has moves like, oh, this is not easy. This time there are so many options. b5, but b5 is one move suggested. Then knight b6 is suggested. Queen a5 is suggested. Okay, so there are three moves basically: queen a5, b5, and knight b6.
Yeah, so to begin with knight b6, it would have actually, it's pretty interesting. I see the idea, I think, but mainly I was scared of the move a5.
Yeah, pushes the knight back.
And I think it still is complicated. Like the game can go cb3, bishop b3, knight c4. But in the resulting position, I think I wasn't very happy.
I guess also this is coming here, maybe.
Yeah, that's possible, exactly.
And then you lose a pawn, perhaps. I think so. I mean, maybe knight a5 is still there, but knight f6, and yeah, this doesn't look good.
This is a bit too much. I didn't want to enter these complications. So, and to my point, I wanted to get rid of his a2 bishop completely. So whatever I wanted to do, I just restricted his bishop on a2. So I played b5. That's actually the correct.
Very good. b5.
My idea was to always keep that bishop inside on a2. And after he takes on b5.
But this is a pawn sacrifice after ab.
And here it's still an important moment, actually. And I would want Vaibhav to see this one because he has the natural response of taking. But there is an intermediate move. Before black can take, I played the move bishop b4.
This reminds me of a saying. So guys, remember this. Chess is not checkers. In checkers, I think there's a rule that whenever you have an opportunity to take, you have to take. because that's the rule of the game. But in chess, when your opponent takes, there's no rule that you must recapture. Chess is chess, it's not checkers. So you can make this intermediate move now, attacking this knight, which is hanging. Yeah, good move.
Yeah. So bishop b2, it defends, and the point of bishop b4 was, of course, to take the knight and take on b5. So that's what he did. Bishop b2, I took the knight, he took back, and I played a takes b5. So I lost my dark squared bishop, which was my favorite bishop, but his bishop on a2 is actually completely out of the game. And that's something I have achieved. So,
very nice, very nice.
He played knight d2 here, and I was slightly confused, but I understood what he wants to play in the long run. I played knight b6, maybe nothing interesting here. And he played queen c2, developing his pieces. I played bishop b7.
Bishop b7.
Yeah, I wasn't sure where to put my bishop, but I felt like putting it on b7 in case he takes. I take with the d pawn, and then I open up this bishop.
So you are like, you make this mysterious rook moves that Nimzovich liked to make. What he would do is he would put his rook behind a pawn that is going to open. And everyone will like, but rook is doing nothing here, it's behind a pawn. And you're like, but if the opponent does this, then my rook will open. So here, in order to get space, white has to take so that his bishop opens up to some extent. But when he takes, you can take and your bishop opens up. Very nice. I was actually thinking maybe bishop g4 could be an idea, with the idea of putting your bishop to g6 over here could be a good square. But bishop b7. Okay.
Yeah, there are, of course, many moves which could have been improved. As I said, I was 13 years old, so many moves might be wrong, but it felt right at that day. He played rook fb1, and it's also more obvious what is white trying to do. He really wants to take on c4, and he's bringing all these pieces towards the queen side and open up the b file for his rook. And since he wants to take and attack b5, and I really want to take with the d pawn, I had to defend my weak b5 pawn. So I played queen d7. Very logical.
Okay. So some weaknesses already you can spot, like this pawn in a way is a weakness because you have to defend it. While in white's camp, what is the weakness here, Cemil?
He doesn't actually have a weakness which is shining right now. But I would say maybe the a file is some problems, but I don't think there is like a weakness. There is the weakness of d3 square.
Yeah, I think so.
He wanted to reroute the bishop from g4. That's why.
Yes.
But I think I lost the trend by going to b7. But it's never too late.
Yeah, and also like this is a weak square, but remember guys, a weakness is only a weakness if you can reach there or attack it. This p position. So right now, why Cemil doesn't find this square as weak very much is because he doesn't see how a knight can reach there, or he doesn't see how a bishop can reach there. If there was no pawn here on d4, then maybe a knight could have jumped from somewhere here and reached this square, but right now it seems difficult. Okay.
Yeah, so after queen d7, he played bishop b4, attacking my rook. I played rook fc8, very natural. He played bishop c5.
Yeah.
And here I played queen c6. And now he played this move f3. And now the story starts.
Always remember, pawn moves create weaknesses. Yeah. And so nothing new for you guys here. He has created some weakness over here.
Yeah, and now we have to ask ourselves two questions. What is the weakness? And what is created, which is slightly obvious at this point since he played f3. And the second question I asked is, what piece of mine is not doing anything, which is the most critical question in the position.
Okay.
So few pieces are not doing much. So we have to identify and come up with a plan, let's say, to improve an attack.
Brilliant. So two questions by Cemil. One is, what is the new weakness created? And second one is, which piece is not in the game? Which piece of yours is not playing as black, and how do you bring it in the game? Okay, very nice. Let's see. Oh, nice. In the chat, everyone's got the right move. Binu George from Mexico. Binu, thank you for joining in from Mexico. Wonderful. Oh, look at Ayushi has mentioned that right now she's watching this from the hospital, but she's fine. But she doesn't have audio or video. She can only see the chat and the thumbnail. Oh, that's sad. But and she's interacting with the chat. Very nice, very nice. That's so cool, Ayushi. Okay, so e3 is the weakness, and everyone's mentioning rook on c8, go to e8 because that attacks it. And a lot of people are saying that the bishop on b7 is not playing much here.
That's correct. Okay.
What did you say?
That's correct. The bishop on b7.
That's correct. I thought you said acha hai.
No. I could have, but maybe it doesn't work at this point. Maybe, I don't know.
Okay.
So pretty much black's pieces are overall not doing much. I have to agree with that. But the rook on c8 is decent. It's actually on a potential open, semi-open file.
Yeah.
And bishop on b7 is not doing much, but it's tough to improve it. So that's the problem. The piece I thought it doesn't do much is the knight on b6. It absolutely doesn't do anything. It's just sitting there. And one might wonder, what does this have to do with anything? And especially with the e3 weakness. So here is what I did. I wanted to improve this knight and found a plan. And I played the move knight bd7.
Okay.
And at first it looks like it doesn't do much, but attack the bishop. So my opponent retreats, bishop b4.
Yeah.
And now we need to find, now that we know the knight on d7 is the piece we want to improve, how do we even connect the weakness on e3 and improving the knight at the same time?
Oh, that's not easy, because I don't see it very quickly. Where does the knight go to attack that pawn? But again, remember one concept that we were talking with Biswa was like, don't look at where the knight can move right now. Like if you see knight f8, knight g6, knight e6, something like this, if you start looking knight b8, knight a6, then it will take you a lot of time. But think where you want to put the knight. So if this knight, where would it be well placed, and then try to find its route. It might be the easier way to do things.
Exactly. That's exactly what I did. When I played knight d7, or when I even asked myself that question, I visualized where that knight's supposed to be, and then I came up with a maneuver.
And so, where do you want to put this knight is the question.
Yeah. And if there is a piece on the way, how can you move it? That's always another good question to ask.
Okay. This is high quality positional chess, I think, because it's not going to be easy to find all these ideas. Peter Kavanaugh says queen e6, bishop c6, knight f8.
Why bishop c6?
No idea, but bishop c6 to keep b5 defended, perhaps. That's why.
Okay.
Okay, how do you continue, Cemil? What do you play?
Queen e6.
Queen e6, okay. Attacking
e3.
e3.
I visualized for my knight is c6. So he plays rook e1.
Wow, that's not easy. That's not easy.
Yeah. He played rook e1, and I played knight b8. So I rerouted my knight on b6 to c6. And finally, he just couldn't resist it, and he took on c4. And your bishop is kicking right now. It wants to open itself up. Yeah, did you take with the d pawn or b pawn? Yes, d pawn.
Of course, opening up.
He played the move e4.
Yeah.
Okay, now another question. What has changed in the position? What is another new weakness, perhaps? Because e3 was the weakness, and thanks to me, it's gone. I got rid of that for him. But now there is another weakness.
Where's the weakness in the position? Guys, try to find a new weakness. Always, every pawn move creates a weakness, so you need to be alert for that concept. You know, Cemil, after this game ends, I'm going to show something interesting. I have 2-3 things to see, and I need to keep that in mind, because many times stream ends and I've forgotten what I want to show.
Yeah, it will end actually very quickly. He completely collapsed my opponent in the next. The game didn't last more than 10 moves from now.
Okay. D4, very good, guys. D4 is a new weakness now, and this is... How did you continue, Cemil? Because knight c6 runs into d5. Oh no, b4 is hanging. Okay.
Yeah, so knight c6 does run into potential d5 in the long run. So what I did was I played knight a6 because I don't want my knight to be touched at all.
Okay.
If he goes bishop c3, I have the idea of playing b4. And if I'm attacking the bishop, and if he moves the bishop to b2, I have b3. So
yeah,
that's why he cannot really do this. That's why he didn't play bishop c3. He played rook eb1. He defended.
This rook's job in his life is to keep defending weaknesses. Like first he went and defended this. Now he comes back. Very hardworking guy on the board.
And now it's the final sequence, and the game is pretty much over. So
really?
Black to move pretty much almost win.
Really? Wow. I mean, it feels like this is a positional game. Everything is moving along, and suddenly this is JJ for you, yeah? Cemil Jan. He finishes off games quickly. Let's see. Let's try to understand how did he beat his opponent quickly from here.
And again, to remind, this is about the weakness also. So it's not like a different topic. It's completely connected to the weak spot or weak pawn.
Okay, so now we need to find the weaknesses. By the way, guys, a weakness could be a pawn, piece, or a square. Right now, for me, in my mind, even the b4 bishop is a weakness because it is defended once and attacked once. So actually, it's weak, you know, although it can quickly move away and then it's no longer weak. Amrut and I always have this discussion, you know. You guys would be wondering, what do chess couples fight about? Of course, they fight about normal things in life, which is like, hey, why didn't you clean the floor, or why didn't you wash the utensils and all of that. But they also discuss about what is a weakness on a chessboard. And she keeps telling me that a piece is never a weakness because, let's say, a bishop here can move away. So why do you call it a weakness? And I try to tell her that no, a piece can also be a weakness because at that moment it is weak and then it moves away. It may not be weakness over there. And then we argue, and then still she's not convinced. Maybe I'll make her watch. What do you think, Cemil? Is a piece a weakness or not?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, Cemil is on my side. I'm going to tell Amrita about this. Let's see.
Sorry about that, but it can definitely be a weakness.
Okay. And also a square can be a weakness. So here, guys, even something like an e3 square could be a weakness if you think about it, because a piece can jump there. Okay, lot of people, Cemil are saying knight b4, rook b4 and queen d6. That's what they want to play.
Excellent. Everybody's very sharp today. And that's how the game continued.
But I saw that there is one move which defends now both these squares, and that is queen c3.
Exactly.
Man, you are too good. You are too good. Always some tactics in the air. Always some You know, I think you have some record of these tactics that you do on chess.com. What is it? 106 or something?
103 in survival,
103 tactics, all correct. You know, he is doing it. And I think this is a result why he's so strong on the board. He spots tactics immediately. Guys, black to move. Okay, Sumed, very good. Sumed, you are right. Shiv Shom, you are of course right. Shiv Shom is another guy who is very quick on understanding. By the way, guys in the chat are so amazing. They are actually sending some of the key tips that Cemil is teaching right now to Ayushi, because she cannot see the video and the audio. So they are sending her some written text Brilliant, guys. This is what I love about the chat. So sometimes they are so rowdy, like they are like, hey, no, 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 something, and sometimes they're so kind and considerate. I have really, it's great fun.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I love about the chess community as well. We are like a great community.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, what is the move?
Rook a3.
Yeah,
By the way,
absolutely.
Clash Kingdom has asked, what about knight g4 on the previous move? I don't think knight g4 makes any sense, Clash, because it just loses a piece.
Yeah, it just takes. Yeah.
Very good, guys. Rook a3 is absolutely right.
Yeah, but sadly it doesn't end there because after rook a3, now he can go queen b2. In the previous move, he couldn't go queen b2 because there was the move c3. But now if I go c3, now he takes the rook and d4 is not hanging.
Right.
So
I must just tell the viewers that if queen a3, you can play queen d4 check, and then after king h1 or f1, you take the rook with a check, and that's just really bad. So therefore queen b2, and now this is how grandmasters always look for opponents' best defensive possibilities. Earlier c3 would have won a piece, but now after take, queen d4 is impossible because you lose the queen. So that's the point. Okay. So what to do now? Black to move.
yeah, and he collapsed quickly. Is there anyone who suggested it? Let's see.
I think Sumedh had already given the
Yeah,
full line over
Shiv
there.
Shom wrote it. Yeah.
Oh, Shiv Shom is right. I was wondering if let me think about it. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. Sachin Saju, you are right. Rajesh Verma, also right. Very good, guys. The right move here is rook to a2. Very good.
Rook a2. If he takes with the queen, the rook on b4 is hanging. That's why it's a weakness, because it's no longer protected. So
Sorry.
he has to take with the rook.
He had to
on
take
a2.
with the rook.
And I played c3. That was the idea. He played queen b3, which is not the best move. And I took the knight. And he captured back. Rook takes d2. And here he thought, okay, the position is still fine, but it's not. It's black to play and win in a couple of moves. Final blow.
A final blow. Tactics always in the air, guys. Tactics always in the air. Find it. Find it. You know, tactics should be like, you should be waiting how to find some tactical shot. Look at this weak pawn here. This rook is also a weakness because attacked once, only defended once. Undefended piece. Some air in the position. You know, all these squares. How do you take advantage of all of this put together?
Yeah, that's why this is actually very nice, because the rook on d2 is weak, b4 is weak. All the rooks are hanging. So, yeah, it's a two-move combination, actually. Yeah, now that I look at this game, I'm more proud of it.
Very nice game. Yeah, Cemil, it's beautiful game. I like it so much, and it teaches the concept of weakness so perfectly. So perfectly. And you are wrong in saying you have no positional games.
Yeah, it's tough for me to pick because, again, you saw how it ended. Again, it's some completely
No, but
tactical.
Atul puts it very well. He says this game is about identifying weaknesses in opponents' camps and exploiting them with calculations. So it's like,
Right.
positional and tactical chess all rolled up into one. Brilliant. Okay, very good, guys. They are spotting that e4 is a hot point and also c1 check should come in. So how did you continue? First take on here or first you went check?
Rook c1 check.
Check.
Because he has to go king f2.
If takes, you just lose the rook. So have to go king f2.
King f2. And now knight takes e4. And he resigned. And I always tell that when we look at tactical positions, we look at checks, captures, and threats. But I always put priority to a move which does both of them.
Okay.
Check and capture at the same time. So
Nice.
that's priority in my list.
Okay.
So knight e4 is a check and a capture at the same time. So I put it before all of them.
So you put it before knight g4, for example, because it is just a check. And this is a check plus capture. Okay, very nice. Takes, and the point he resigned because now the point was queen f4 check, attacking the rook and the king. So only move is king f e2 here. And now how do you mate him? Just queen f1, king e3, and rook e1. And that is game over, guys. Very good. Cemil, this was tremendous game. Tremendous. Guys, please let us know in the chat whether you loved this game. Did your understanding of weaknesses improve? Did you understand what is weakness here? I'll just try to recap the game for everyone to understand. And also, Cemil, you can explain to me if I'm wrong somewhere. So here, bishop b1, idea was to attack this weakness. And Cemil, after castling, a weak player would say, okay, you are attacking, I'll try to defend it somehow. But after b3, he found the most accurate way to continue. b5 takes and bishop b4. Chess is not checkers. Okay, you don't need to recapture always. Take, b5. And now the next important point of the game was definitely this entire concept with moving the queen away and putting the knight either to c6 or a6, attacking the e3 weakness first, and then later on, I think the brilliant point of this entire game came at this point after knight b4, rook b4, queen d6, attacking again the weak spots. Amruta, piece is a weakness, remember. Queen c3, rook a3, brilliant move, queen b2, and now takes on e2, well done. Takes c3, queen b3, and final, it also ended with a shot on a weak square. You see, this was an undefended piece, can also be weak, and you just take it over there.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So beautiful. Everyone says the game was too good. Game was too good. Improving a lot. Thanks, sir. Chess Arco. I love this game. Sujata. Yeah, of course, Nikunj. It was not a mate, but very close to mate. So I didn't go on till the end. Akar Deora says game analysis was helpful. Great game, covered all the principles, says Ninad. Clash Kingdom, amazing Sagar and Cemil, but today I'm not in form of calculation. Clash Kingdom, remember, if you are a good chess player, calculating is as natural as breathing. You cannot say I'm not in mood to breathe today. If you are going to play chess, you have to calculate. So remember this. Dave Marcia, thank you. This was a superb game. Fantastic combination of positional and tactical chess. As always, thank you for these sessions. Very nice. Very nice. Okay, I'm going to store this game, by the way. Yeah, of course, guys, please say. So, white, what was the name of the white player?
It was Ivanov Jordan.
Ivanov Jordan, and black was our very own Cemil Chan. And result is 0-1. Guys, remember, always save your games. 2013, was it right or no? 2011. Okay. And now, to end this session, as promised, I want to do a couple of things. First of all, Cemil's very important point here was that whenever you are thinking, actually here, he said two things. One is, where are the weaknesses and which piece to improve? And if you look at Jakob Agard's book called Positional Play, he says, ask three questions. And his three questions are, what are the weaknesses? Which piece to improve? And the last one is, what is my opponent's idea? And you know, this book is considered to be quite advanced because it has a lot of positions which are tough. But even now, when Cemil is explaining this concept, he already covered 2 points, which was, where are the weaknesses here? And which is my piece which I can improve, or the worst placed piece? And knight b8, knight c6 or a6 comes to mind. So this was one thing I want to show, that these sessions are actually teaching you some very advanced concepts which are given by the topmost authors in the world. So Shiv Shom has made my statement into a quote. He says, if you are a good chess player, calculating is as natural as breathing." Saga 2020. Okay, Shiv, that is a bit too much, but I'll take it. Okay, so let's go here and first of all check out Atul Dahale's channel, because this is something which he has been working really hard. I know Atul since a long time, since my young age, and I'm going to subscribe to his channel now. And I have been following it, but I've just not forgotten to press the subscribe button. And he has been doing a phenomenal work. Has best games of William Stenitz here, best games of Paul Morphy here, classical chess games. He does live streams, he does a lot of things. So guys, follow him for good content to learn from him. And Atul, please keep doing this. Please bear in mind that the people who will watch your channel are going to learn a lot from you. So please continue your great work.
Yeah.
Okay. And next is, of course, all those who have not subscribed to Cemil's channel. Please do so. You saw the kind of things he's teaching, and I really enjoy when he's solving tactics, because he is really very good. I think when it comes to tactical solving, even Adiban says he is weaker than Cemil. He doesn't like Cemil because he gets lesser points. So
yeah, I saw his comment yesterday. That's why I couldn't resist to join the Zoom call. He said, "I hate Cemil because apparently he's better than me in Puzzle Rush." Yeah, I mean, of course, it's a joke. I know Adiban very well.
yeah,
But yeah, tactics is probably my passion, and that's why I was like, I can't find any positional games because I mostly look at my games as tactical. I rarely see the beauty of my positional games.
yeah,
So
but now you mix it up so well in this game. And I think, guys, if you want to improve your tactics and overall chess understanding, follow Cemil. And what was one more thing? I think Ashish Kulkarni. Ashish, if you can send the link to me, or maybe I can search it here. Ashish Kulkarni. Yeah, chess. Maybe this is very difficult to find. Too many Ashish Kulkarnis. So if you can send in the chat, or maybe I put the name wrong.
yeah, I see some nice comments. You are all welcome. I hope it was fun and educational. This is the game I picked. Probably the best game of weaknesses in my life is the game I lost. But it's too long of a game, so that's for a longer session.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe that is something. One more game, and maybe when some Biswa or Vaibhav or Samay is here,
Somebody else.
would be nice to work with them. Of course. Let me see if they have messaged me. Have they woken up? Sometimes they wake up and they're like, "Oh, we forgot to put the alarm," or "Oh, we forgot this," and it's always
Yeah.
fun. But they are such passionate chess players and learners. They could have at any point said, "Now enough," it's been 50 sessions, but they wake up and they want to learn this. And I think it's very inspiring to see them work hard. And they are experts in their field. Guys, don't remember this. They might be funny, they might be they are the best in what they do, making people laugh. Stand-up comedians, best in India. And they are learning chess, something new where they are not good at. It's like, let's say me, who am good at chess, I want to learn comedy, and I'm going every day morning to learn it. And I can't imagine myself doing that. I would be like, this is too tough, I should go back to chess. But they are doing it again and again. I don't know, this is about beauty of chess and also their dedication.
Yeah, it's definitely great to see them waking up, dedicated, attending the classes, improving also. So yeah, definitely amazing.
Okay, Akash. I don't see, guys, and I don't see any link also put up here by anyone. So I don't think Akash stayed back. He wanted me to check his channel, but he's left, I guess. Okay, guys, we'll do it next time. It's okay. And Anjaneya Phatak is here. Sagar sir, had fun. Would love to see more of Cemil. Anjaneya is a big bookworm, he reads books and then he reads them and he uses them. In fact, he's written an article on ChessBase India as well. I remember Anjaneya Fatak, ChessBase India, and he has written how gaining 100 elo points with one book, and that was Attack and Defense, and he's written how he used it, how it helped him. And so nice to see you here, Anjaneya.
Very nice book.
Okay, so Cemil, thanks a lot for today, and I'll see you again. And good luck for your tactic solving session. When can people see you in action on your channel?
I might even do it now.
Okay.
Actually, but generally, yeah, I'm pretty tired to solve tactics, but I do it around this hour or earlier so that it's not too late in India. So
we are so used to seeing your background now. I think whenever we'll be in the US and we'll come over there and we're like, oh, this is what we see from Cemil's video stream.
Yeah, so it's not as nice when it is earlier in the day because there is sun and it's like right behind me. That's why I like to do it in the evenings. So yeah, might do a very small stream now just to have a conversation with people.
Okay, fantastic. Guys, you can join in Cemil's session, and thank you, Cemil, today for being here.
Yeah, thank you so much, and have a good day.
All right, see you. Bye.
Yeah, bye.
Aha, I understand what the problem with Akash is. He's trying to put in the link, but it's not coming because I think only the moderators can do that. So let me just try it once again. Akash Kulkarni. And I will try to match his photo from his thumbnail image. It's very difficult. Akash, I can search chess. Okay, I'll search chess. Somehow, yeah, here he is, Akash. Okay, got it. Okay, let's see. Introduction to chess. Let's see.
Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Akash Kulkarni and today we are going to see the next video of the series, Introduction to Chess. In this video we are going to understand the chess board and what lies beneath chess the 64 squares. If you are interested in learning chess, make sure you watch this video till the end, and if you are coming to this channel for the first time, chess is a 64 square and so if it is not, just turn the board once and make sure your right hand corner is a white square or a line as they are.
I think
white
he's working hard and
comes on the
putting in a lot of effort.
The name of the square is C5.
All right. Reaching 1800. Okay, interesting content, guys. You can check this out. You can subscribe to it. Origins of Chess Introduction. I like this intro part.
So if you are coming to this channel for the first time, Chaturanga broadly means by the wisdom of the wise.
Guys, you can check this out, channel of Akash Kulkarni, and if you like it, do subscribe. It's he's working hard. That's all I can say, and he has put up some good content here. So keep doing this, Akash. I think you just begun your journey, so keep working hard. That's important. Consistency is the key. I'll tell you, for ChessBase India, for us, the first 5,000 subscribers took a long time, and then suddenly some content was liked by people, and then it started boosting up. It's always like, it's like chess rating. There's a stagnation and then the jump, stagnation and the jump. So keep going, keep working hard on whatever you do, and stay consistent. That is the key. Okay, guys, take care, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.